by the time Here Comes the Lords comes out, 93, Marley Marl has been making at least rap hits and then big hits since 85-ish.
Yeah.
So what was that kind of like tutelage, if at all? Like, what did he show you guys, teach you guys? Like, how did he mentor you? Like, what was going on with the three of you with Marley in the studio, business wise, anyway? Like, what was going on?
What year you talking?
Really, as you were making Here Come the Lords.
Here Come the Lords.
Because people, the other thing is, the reason I'm asking is because I think a lot of people don't understand, appreciate, they forget, they didn't read the credits, whatever. But I don't think people realize he did the majority of the album. Like, I think when people say what Marley Marl's production catalog, Lords of the Underground, for whatever reason, usually is not mentioned at all.
Oh my God. Yeah. You noticed that, huh?
Yes. Hence my question. Yes.
I mean, I noticed it too. And it kind of hurts me sometimes, even when I see Marley doing interviews and he doesn't mention us. And it's like, wow, like no mention of Lords of the Underground. And Lightweight, I think Lords of the Underground kind of brought him back up to prominence, man. If I'm not mistaken, but you know, it's just things like I think Lords of the Underground, we really don't get our just due, and that's why I applaud Drink Champs for having us down and telling our story and everything like that. But yeah, man, it's like a lot of people forget about Lords of the Underground and what we've done in hip hop, and I don't know why. I really don't know why, because I mean we've had hits, maybe out of the eye of the public. Maybe people forget, but it's like, man, we did a lot of shit, man. We had some hits. So why do you leave us out of history of hip hop?
Well, that's why I was very excited to talk to you. But on top of that, with the first part of it though, is what did he teach you? What did he show you? What was like, what did you get from Marley, you know, besides great production and a deal? Like, what did he teach you, show you? What did you learn from him? Was LL at the house when you guys were doing Here Come the Lord? Like, what was going on?
Man, I mean, Marley, he taught us about making songs, like complete songs. Like, we were a newly formed group that never really, well, me personally, I never was in a big studio. I always did like 4-track little shit like that. But I think I can speak for doing funk too. Like, we've never been in a major studio like, you know, like his. So I mean, he taught us how to make records, you know, and sonically, like you were saying earlier, like he really taught us the structure of making a song and just putting little things in it, you know, to make the public, you know, remember that sound or whatever, or like, damn, I want to hear that again. You know, Marley, he I mean, he showed us and told us a lot of things, man. Business wise, not so much, because you know he had his own business, production company, and things of that nature that he was dealing with different labels. So, me personally, business wise, we didn't really discuss a lot of business. Only until like after like years and years and years later, you know, after the songs and everything blew up, and you know, we were trying to find out like why are they getting that? Are they getting that? We getting this? And so we did have a big meeting, and you know, we came up with the conclusion of like redoing the songs over so we can own the masters. So, you know, we did do that, and so we worked that out. But you know, I hear a lot of the stories about Marley and the business practices and everything was fucked up. But when you think about it, when you enter this music industry, you are gonna get fucked. That's just what it is. So just know that you're gonna get fucked. So after you get fucked, learn your business so that on the second time around with different with talks of contracts, you know a little bit more than what you knew the first time, so you don't get fucked as much. But definitely learn the business side. But Marley, without this dude, like I wouldn't be here talking to you right now, man. So I really have a lot of respect for Marley. He's still doing his thing. Everybody's doing well, and I'm just blessed. I'm just blessed to still be here, man.
Absolutely. Okay. So then Here Comes the Lords comes out super successful. At the same time, Diggable Planets, also on Pendulum, is doing well.
Yeah.
So as you guys were getting ready for or working on Keepers of the Funk, what was going on with Pendulum at the time? Because Diggable Planets was also blowing up, and they had gone gold and been super successful, and they were also around the same time doing similar stuff as far as putting out music, not sounding the same, but you guys both coming out at the same time, debut albums, then getting into the second one. So for Keepers of the Funk, how did things evolve positively or negatively with Pendulum, within the group, within the process?
Yeah. With Keepers of the Funk, people say the sophomore jinx, so it's gonna be a tough act to follow after Here Come the Lords. But he was like, whatever. And same formula. Us, Marley, K-Def. But on this album, we wanted to try our hands in production. And we did the album. We felt great about it. As far as Pendulum, this is the time Pendulum was going through some distribution problems with Elektra, and I think Keepers of the Funk kind of lost some steam during the transition from Elektra to EMI. We had a lot of demand, but we couldn't get the product out, to the different record stores and mom and pop, spots. So I think it kind of dampened us a little bit with the sales, but it still went gold and did fine. TikTok, a lot of people love TikTok, and on the other hand, a lot of people was like, TikTok, but that song TikTok actually did better than we thought it did. Like globally, when we would go to Europe, people would be singing that song, or they would want to hear TikTok first. Like, we were like, wow, okay. So I mean, for me, it did great. It did great. Went gold. We toured the world with it, and it sold what it sold. We did the tours, and kept it moving.
So then, why didn't Lords of Underground remain on or in the major label system after all the success?
So after Keepers of the Funk, we actually did another album that we never released. It was called When the Smoke Clears. And that's when, the labels were going through all of this shit and all of that. So we never put that album out. And then by this was 97, we did that album that we never released. And then after that, we just toured and toured and toured until 99. 99 is when we got back in the studio and we did a project called Resurrection, which we did with Queen Latifah and Shakim out of Flavor Unit on a brand new imprint that they had called Jersey Kids. So we did that album. Really no promotion at all for it. And after that, I was like, okay, you know, the whole record industry is making a 360. So, you know, I was like, called a meeting and I told Do and Funk, I was like, yo, man, I'm about to move to Paris. You know, I was like, I'm about to move to Paris and see what's going on out there. Not on no music shit. I had a female friend out there, and I went out there, and you know, I fell in love with it, man. It made me feel like hip hop was still alive, because during this time, this was the jiggy era with the, you know, sequins and everybody wanted to be fly. So I went to Europe, and I ended up staying in Europe. I ended up meeting my wife and having 2 kids in Paris, and bringing, you know, doing funk out there just to tour the world, you know, and they loved it. So, I mean, I always think back and I say, wow, without hip hop, I wouldn't have met my French wife, you know, and I really have to give it up to hip hop, because it really has changed my life, man, for the better. And so when I went to Paris, man, I ended up staying out there. You know, made some great connections. I was on radio doing I was producing, and, you know, just still touring, just keeping the Lord's brand alive. And you know, did that for 11 years, man. 11 years. So, you know, during this time, I think we dropped another studio album in 2007 called House of Lords. Really, again, no promotion. We just kind of put it out. And, you know, Do It All did his solo album. Mr. Funky did his solo album. I did my solo album. And what I was going to say. So then collectively, 2019, we did another project with Snow Goons called So Legendary. That's complete. I don't know what the problem is about the release, but it's a crazy album, man. And I want the world to hear it. But since then, Do It All dropped another solo project, and I'm in the process of finishing up my Plain Dealer Part 2. Mr. Funky dropped a project 2 years ago. Man, we just evolving, man. Just doing what we love, man. Just putting out music and staying in touch with the people.
Okay. Well, given that you moved, I've been to Europe a few times.
Yeah.
And I've been to Paris a couple times.
Uh-huh.
And I'm always intrigued of the way that rap is presented and lives in different countries, or at least the United States rap, I should say, because all these places have their own vibrant scenes as well. But but for you, how did you find with Paris in particular, since one of the earliest ones I knew of was MC Solar, but they got they have their own rappers, and they rap in French.
I know your history. Okay.
I know a little bit about a little bit.
Okay.
But what was that like, kind of fitting in or getting into the groove there? Was it like seamless? Is it like, oh man, I don't speak French and it was hard? Like, what was happening for you personally?
Man, listen. I mean, I would be walking down Champs-Élysées, and like, let me rewind it real quick. The first time we went to Paris was in 1996, and we performed at this place called Le Palace.
Man, that's the first year I went. That's crazy.
Man, and during this time, it was a strike. There was no buses, no taxis, no metro, no nothing. So everybody had to walk or ride a bike. So it was crazy. Like, what the fuck going on out here? So anyway, man, we ripped this fucking club to pieces, and to this day, like, people still talk about that when I'm in Paris. Like, damn, remember the Palace? But anyway, Dang, well, I was about to tell you the story.
About your first trip to Paris?
So yeah, we ripped it. So I'm walking down Champs-Elysees and people were like, yo, Lord Jazz. And I'm shocked, like, damn, normally they know the MCs, but not the DJ. So they were like noticing me, like, Lord Jazz, like, wow, what are you doing here? I'm like, I'm just chilling, man. I'm enjoying Paris. And so, people started to talk and knowing that I was out there. So, I started building relationships, with labels and people at radio. And, I got offered to do my own show at a radio station. So I was like, yeah, I'll do what I represent. So I did that and it turned out well, man. People, they showed me a lot of love out there. And it just felt like, just being out there, I would meet all the American, performers who would come out there, and they're like, oh shit, Lord God, like, what you doing? And that just built up my repertoire. Like, Snoop, I met everybody that came out there, like I met. So it was just beautiful, man. It was like I was like launching myself again, to America, but I was in Europe, and it was just a beautiful thing, man. I had no problems with the language barrier. I spoke enough French to get by and understand. So, man, I had no problem at all. I love Paris. That's my second home. My kids were born in Paris, so Paris has a special place in my heart, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now, then what? I got more music questions too, but then when and why did you move back to the United States?
I moved back, man, because of my family. My family, we were a very close-knit family, and I'm so glad that I did move back, because when I moved back, my grandfather passed, and then my uncle that I call my brother, who's like 3 years older than me, passed. And I was like, wow, if I wouldn't have came back, I wouldn't have been able to spend the couple of years that I did spend with them. I wouldn't have been able to spend with them. So I was blessed to be able to come back, man. I was out there 11 years, man. I was out there 11 years. I was missing my family and missing America. I had to go to special American made grocery stores that had American, Pop-Tarts and Captain Crunch and shit like that I was paying 10 euros for, man. Like, but I just missed home, man, and I wanted to get back, and my wife was she was willing to go too. So, and that's what we did. So came back to the States, man. Yep.
In the beginning, hip-hop was ruled by the East Coast. Then the West Coast rose to prominence thanks to gangster rap.
Straight out of Compton, crazy motherfucker named Ice Cube.
Hip-hop changed the world. Gangster rap changed the narrative.
I'm representing for the gangsters all across the world.
And then changed the world again.
Cause I'll come and take your life away.
The history of gangster rap features unheard stories, unseen photos and documents, all with exclusive interviews from the founders and players who shaped gangster rap.
I think a real gangster rapper has to scare you a little bit.
The history of gangster rap written by veteran rap journalist Soren Baker. In stores now.
Yo, what up? This is DJ Quick. Be sure to pick up my homeboy Soren Baker's book, The History of Gangster Rap, if you really want to know what we do.